I've divided goals into two parts. First is long range. Long range goals. That's your dreams. Your dreams for the next 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Actually, the rest of your life. Your dreams. You've got to keep dreaming. Ronald Reagan, president, said to the joint session of Congress a few weeks ago, "The Republic is a dream. And if we don't keep dreaming, we will lose the Republic." Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires the heart and the soul. Dream. From the children of Sanchez, it says, take the crumbs from starving soldiers, they won't die. Take the bread from hungry children, they will cry. But without dreams, we all will die. You've got to dream. Don't lose your dreams. For yourself, for your future, for your family. The dreams of love and enterprise, and travel and doing things. Becoming something unique on your journey here. Don't lose your dreams. Do some dreaming. That's long-range goals. You got to have those. So that's number one. Here's the second part of goals, short range. Short-range goals. That's your goals for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year. The immediate future. We call these confidence builders. Because if you set up something short-range, go for it. Get it. Latch onto it. Work hard. Accomplish it. That starts building your strong feelings to go for your dreams. Now, I've divided goals into 3 categories. Here they are. Number 1 is economic. That's your goals for money, income, business, profits, production. Economics. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. Economics plays a major role in everybody's life. Economics is major, which means it ought to be meticulously well planned for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range. What if you asked somebody tomorrow if you could see their meticulously well-planned list of economic goals? What would they probably say? They'd say, you some kind of a nut? You must be weird. Hey, I found out what success is. Success is doing what the failures won't do. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. It'll put you in the top 5%. One of the key little subjects we talk about on the weekend is the 7 fundamentals for wealth and happiness. And that's one of them, well-planned economics. It's a fundamental if you want to do well. Join the top 5%. Anybody in this room can join the top 5%, if you will. Now here's the second category of goals, things. Make a list of the things you want. And on my list of things, now I put everything. Little things as well as major things. Doesn't matter how small it is, it goes on my list. I used to just put major things, cars, homes. I don't do that anymore. I now load my list with everything. Everything. And the reason is, part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. That's it. Boy, at the end of the day, if you can go, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, whatever it is, right? You get into the habit. So load up your list, the things you want. Now, when you check off something major, celebrate. That's an important point to make. Celebrate your achievements. Live it up. Have a party when you reach something you've worked for a while. See, we all grow from 2 experiences. One is called the pain of losing. The other one is called the joy of winning. We need both of them. Amplify them as much as you can, which also means make losing painful. If you set up something, fooled around, didn't get it, put it on yourself. On the other side, if you did get it, congratulate yourself. Self-congratulations is a sign of maturity. Seeking congratulations is a sign of immaturity. But hey, winning and losing, see, that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. Now, some people lead such mediocre lives. At the end of the day, they don't know whether they're winning or losing. They've got no clue. Guy's just going through the day with his fingers crossed. There's a better way. Okay, here's the third category of goals, personal development. Put those goals together. Personal development goals. That's your goals to be stronger, more decisive, be a speaker, be a leader, learn a language, all kinds of skills. And that's what you want, the personal development skills. That's what attracts, that's what brings good things to your life, the person you become more skillful. Now, this is quite a package to work on. Economics, things, personal development. For tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range. Okay? That'll get you started. Now, here's the simple formula for setting goals. It goes like this. A, work on your goals. That's step one. Work on them. And I put the word work there deliberately. Setting goals is plain hard work. I don't want to kid you. We haven't come here tonight to kid each other. It's work. I know it's work. That's why a lot of people just let it slide. It's work. Many people work hard on their job, but they don't work hard on their future. They just let that slide. And the work involved is making plans. I know most people don't. I understand that. But don't let that be you. The guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work. By the time you struggle home, it's late. You got to eat a bite of supper, watch a little TV. Get to bed. You can't sit up half the night. Plan, plan, plan. And the guys be good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you got to be better than sincere. Working hard. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good planner. Somebody once wisely said, the people who fail to plan are planning to fail. Well said. So work on your goals. Here's step two. Write your goals down. That's so important. I teach my staff around the world, put your goals in your journal. Because one of the major people you want to study is yourself. So here's the list of goals I put together 3 weeks ago. Here's the list of goals I put together 2 years ago. Here's some of the changes I made, rearrangement of my priorities. I scratched these off, I put these on, I've gotten these. Study your accomplishments, study what your desires are. Put them on paper, write them down. Here's another reason for writing your goals down. It shows you're serious about doing better. And to do better, you gotta get serious. You don't have to be grim, but you must be serious. Everybody hopes things will get better. Everybody hopes. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plan. I used to have the affliction called passive hope. It's an affliction. It's bad. Probably what's even worse than that is happy hope. Now that is really bad. That's bad. Happy hope. The guy's 50 and he's broke and he's still smiling. See, that's not good. So get serious about your goals. Put them on paper. Write them down. There's all kinds. His goals, her goals, their goals. Business goals, financial independence goals, family goals. I mean, there's so many things to work on all this. But if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it. Now, here's the third step to your goals. Check the size of your goals and the kinds of goals. How big they are, what kind they are, affects you. And here's one of the important phrases of the evening. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your handshake. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. Your goals affect the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress. All day long, we're being affected by our goals. Now, some people have goals, but they have such lousy goals. The effect is bad. I asked a guy one time, what are your goals for this month? The guy said, look, if I could just scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills. That was his goal. I'm not saying it isn't a goal. It's a goal, but it's such a lousy goal, the effect is bad. You don't jump out of bed on Monday morning and say, oh boy, another chance to go out and scrape up the money to pay my lousy bills. See, you don't do that. Usually you say, oh, not another Monday. And some people have so given up on life, they have joined the thank God it's Friday. Well, how sad. Surely those are the same people, when life is over for them, will say, thank God it's over.
The God at the start of Genesis that is creating the world is actually an amalgamation to deceive and misdirect of the gods, the reptilian gods. And what's being described is not the creation of the world, but the creation of the simulation, the matrix. And so when we hear lines like, and God said, let there be light, and there was light, I say what's being described is electromagnetic light, which is basically what this simulation is. And I said just after the turn of the millennium that this is a simulation, and the walls of it, certainly at our level anyway, are the speed of light, which is not the fastest speed possible. That's a joke. We're dealing with all possibility here. That's the fastest speed possible. It's a joke. It's the speed of the matrix of the simulation. And there was an article in Scientific American in April of this year where some academic said, we live in a simulation and the walls of the simulation are the speed of light. And he was relating the speed of light in simulation terms to the processing speed. Because what is physics? What is the law of physics, as we call it? It's whatever the creator of the simulation decided it was going to be. What are, in effect, the laws of physics of computer games? They're whatever the creator of the game decides they're going to be. But as this article pointed out, you can create the laws within your game, but you're still going to be limited by the processing speed you're dealing with. And that's why the speed of light is this faster speed. That's why when people have near-death experiences, they leave the body, which is locking us into the simulation through the five senses, and they experience a totally different version of physics, where past, present, and future all kind of happen at once in the same now. But within the simulation, we have time, we have all these other illusions, which are the creation of the simulation. So you had this treasure trove of documents that were found at Nag Hammadi in 1945, about 75 miles north of Luxor in Egypt, which was an earthen jar of the writings of the Gnostic people. And it's reckoned that they were put in that jar 400 AD, something like that. And about a fifth of these writings were about what they called archons, which is Greek for rulers, who were manipulating human society. And what they say in these writings is that this world is a fake world. It's a fake reality created by this archontic force to enslave humanity in an illusion. I went through all of them, and what you see, they're describing a virtual reality universe. That's what they're describing in their own language, what we would call today virtual reality. One of the great things today is that because of the technological advancement, so-called, we've now got the analogies and the experience of virtual reality to actually describe what this reality is.
You are power.
Called enemies within yourself. Here's the first one: indifference. Whatever you do, practice not being casual. You've got to shake off sometimes the lethargy that would say, oh, well, maybe it's not going to work for me, or I'll just go along and see what happens. I'm asking you, whatever you do, the intensity that you've gathered up here during this extravaganza, I want you to take this same intensity home with you. Don't be casual. Casualness creates casualties. whether it's in Herbalife or whether it's on the freeway. Go home with a renewed intensity. Don't let indifference take over. Here's the next one, indecision. Someone's mentioned it a couple of times on this stage. They've had to deal with it. You've got to deal with it. Indecision is called the thief of opportunity. Make decisions even if it's a wrong decision. Do the very best you can, make a decision and go with it. If it doesn't work out because it was a wrong decision, I'm telling you, that gives you experience now to make a better decision. Here's the next one, doubt. We've all got to deal with the enemy of doubt. Cynicism has a unique way of crowding in on all of us. Being cynical about the government, being cynical about banks and money, being cynical about society, being cynical about the past, cynical about the future. I'm asking you, don't let that disease grab you by the throat and ruin your chances to do well in Herbalife. Yes, it's easy to doubt that it can happen. It's easy to doubt. We've all got fears that want to crowd in. And here's one of the worst ones of all, and that is to doubt yourself. I know we look at Mark, glamorous, handsome, good-looking, extremely successful. Say, my gosh, I don't think that could happen for me. But I want you to know that Mark says, and I say to you, that if it can happen to us, it can happen to anybody in this room. Don't doubt your own ability. Don't doubt your own strength. If Mark can make it through some tough times, you can make it through. If Mark went through some strenuous times, you can go through those strenuous times. When the nights were long for Mark, I'm telling you, he made it. If he made it, you can make it. If I can make it, you can make it. If these people in the president's team can carve out an extraordinary story, second to none, in the business community of the world, I'm telling you, from these tables, this success can go right on back to the millionaire team and the Get team and to everybody up there, wherever you're sitting today. All of this belongs to all of you. Don't doubt that, not for a minute.
Isn't it fantastic that if there's no purpose, you have nothing to fulfill, you can just live? No, but you want a purpose. And not a simple purpose, you want a God-given purpose. It's very dangerous. People who think they have a God-given purpose are doing the cruelest things on the planet. Yes or no? They are doing the most horrible things, and they've always been doing the most horrible things. Because when you have a God-given purpose, life here becomes less important than your purpose. No, life is important. Life is important. When I say life, I am not talking about your family, your work, what you do, what you do not do, your party. I'm not talking about that as life. This is life, isn't it? Life is within you or around you. The ambience of life, you're mistaking the ambience of life for life. Your home, your family, your workspace, your party, this is all ambience of life. This is not life, isn't it? Yes or no? You're mistaking the ambience for the real thing. No. Life is important because it's the only thing you know. You don't know anything else. Do you know something else? Rest is all imagined stuff, isn't it? The only thing is that this is beating and alive and that's all there is. So is this important? It is of paramount importance. Not you as a person, that's not important. But you as a piece of life, it's very important. Because that is the basis of everything. When I say that is the basis of everything, the universe exists for you only because you are, isn't it? Yes or no? The world exists for you only because you are, otherwise it wouldn't exist in your experience. So, in every way, this is important. So what is the purpose for this? See, if you had a purpose and if you fulfilled it, after that what would you do? After that what would you do? Bored, isn't it? It is just that life is so intricate and so phenomenally intricate that if you spend 10,000 years looking at it carefully, you still will not know it entirely. If you spend 1,000,000 years looking at it with absolute focus, still you will not know it in its entirety. That's how it is. Is there a meaning to it? The greatest thing about life is that there is no meaning to it. This is the greatest aspect of life, that it has no meaning to it and there is no need for it to have a meaning. It is the pettiness of one's mind that it is seek a meaning, because psychologically you will feel kind of unconnected with life if you don't have a purpose and a meaning. People are constantly trying to create these false purposes. Now, they were quite fine and happy, suddenly they got married, now the purpose is the other person. Then they have children, now they become miserable with each other. Now the whole purpose that I go through all this misery is because of the children. Like this it goes on.
Maybe about 18 years ago, I bought this house and I kept getting these insane water bills. The water bills were just insane. Like, why are these water bills so crazy? I'm a single man living in this house. Anyway, my neighbor told me I needed to dig a well. So I called this guy over to come, an engineer. He comes out and we're walking the yard and he's putting out all of these orange flags as to all these places he thinks that we could find water. As he's digging one, I said, okay, go ahead. So as he starts digging this one well, didn't hit anything. So then he goes on to the next one. Little flag, he's digging, never hits water. He goes to the next one, never hits water, and I keep having to pay these bills, and I got so frustrated, I said, never mind, I'll just keep paying the water bill because I'm not gonna do this. A few months passed, I still get these crazy water bills, so what I decided to do was call him back. So he comes back out, I said, you dig right here, this well, and you dig and you don't stop until you hit water. So he starts digging. He gets down to about 800 feet, he said, we haven't hit water, this is pretty deep. I said, you keep going. Gets down a little deeper, still has not hit water. I was like, you keep going, you keep going. He said, okay, we're gonna take the night off. We're over 1,000 feet deep, we'll be back in the morning. That night I thought about it, I said, you know what, I'm just wasting money, I'm not gonna do it. As soon as he gets in the morning, I'm gonna tell him to stop digging. That morning, he comes out, he starts the machine, I'm on my way down to him, the machine starts. He was 4 inches away from the water that I needed. Why am I telling you all this? Why am I talking about digging for water? In this world, we're all digging wells. In our lives, we're digging wells. We're digging wells in relationships where we put all this time and effort and energy, and sometimes it doesn't give us what we need. We put all our time and effort and energy in our dreams and our business, and it doesn't give us what we need or what we were after. But if you just keep digging, my God, if you could just hear me right now, just keep digging. You may be 4 inches away from every gift and every blessing that you've ever wanted in your life. Had I given up, when I was homeless, when I was sleeping in my car, when I was hungry, had I given up, these people that you see on this screen right now would not be a part of my dream. There are people who are tied into your dream and your destiny, and you are worthy of getting to your goal. Keep digging. Don't stop.
When I first started telling jokes, I made $25 a night. The first year in comedy, I made $3,000. The third year, I made about $7,200. I became homeless. I lived in a car for 3 years because I wasn't making enough money. But guess what? I kept telling them $25 jokes till they started paying me $250 a night. I kept telling them $25,000 jokes till they started paying me $75,000 a night. Them the same $25 jokes. They ain't nothing but English. I just kept repetition over and over and over, and keep praying about it. I kept praying about it. I kept leaning on my mama. She said, he didn't bring you this far to leave you. You know, I could have gave up a long time ago. I just kept fighting. God is gonna come through and do what he say he gonna do, but it all happens at an appointed time. But you have to stay in faith for the appointed time to happen for you. I've been wanting to be on TV since I was 10 years old. You know how old I was before I got on TV? 38. 28 years after I wrote it on the paper. I won't be on TV. It took me 28 years to get on TV. But it happened at an appointed time. I just never gave up the faith. I kept going because I didn't know how to quit. Because I know if I quit, it cannot happen. But if you stay with it, you have no idea what can happen for you.
Now, how do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times? You must have faith. You've got to believe in your abilities, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith And that faith gives you patience. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. You've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. So how long have you been working on this? And you have nothing to show. This is all you got to show. People are going to do that to you. And some people, ladies and gentlemen, they stop. You got to keep on watering your dream. And when it began to happen, they stopped laughing. They said, look, hey man, you know, I know you can do it. Look, you got a job here. See, during those hard times, when you fell and things didn't work out, they were nowhere to be found. When you're working at your dream, somebody said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. The kind of person you become, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. You know it was hard, but you did it hard.
If you're going to fulfill your destiny, you have to have a made-up mind that no matter what comes against you, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you are not going to stay down. You're going to keep pressing forward, looking for your next victory. The people that succeed are not necessarily the most talented, they are the most determined. When they fail, they don't see that as final. They learn from it and try again. And in life, there's always something coming against us. Disappointments, unfair situations. Too many people just give up and think, well, it just wasn't meant to be. No, if you're going to experience God's best, you have to have a warrior mentality. Your attitude should be, if I have to stand in faith my whole lifetime, I am not going to give up on what God has put in my heart. God did not create us to give up when it gets hard. The right spirit is to say, yes, I'm having some big challenges, but I know I serve a big God. But some of you today, you've allowed your circumstances to push you down. Now you're tempted to give up on what God's placed in your heart. But I'm asking you to dig your heels in and say, no, I will not give up on my dreams. I will not give up because somebody did me wrong. I will not give up because it's taken longer than I thought. I'm going to become everything God's created me to be, and I'm going to have everything God intended for me to have. As long as God has given me breath to breathe, I'm going to keep pressing forward, believing for His very best. I don't understand why this has happened to me. Why was I raised in a negative environment? I don't know why, but I do know this. Nothing that has happened to you can keep you from your God-given destiny. You can take the hand you've been dealt and win with it. God would not have allowed it unless He had a divine purpose. And if you will shake off the self-pity, then God will not only bring you out, but He's promised He will bring you out better off than you were before. I have a friend that's had cancer 3 times. I've never once seen him down and defeated. He has this never say die attitude. He's not focused just on what medical science says. He's focused on what God says. His attitude is, this too shall pass. It's not permanent. It's only temporary. Sickness cannot stay in my body. I'm a temple of the Most High God. He has this holy determination. No matter how long it's taken, he's unshakable, immovable. He's got a made-up mind. Most people, while they're waiting to take the treatment, they just relax, take it easy to get prepared. Not this young man. Every day he'd go out and work out, run. All the while he was envisioning himself healthy and whole. And today he's totally healthy and whole, completely cancer-free. You've got to have a never say die attitude. There may be some bumps along the way. Every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. And if you will stay in faith, God will turn every battlefield into a blessing field. A new season is coming your way. Winter always gives way to spring. A brighter season is right around the corner. Don't give up on a dream just because you don't see anything happening and it looks dead. Your new season could start tomorrow. You could see things start to blossom in your life this coming week. Things take off in your finances, in your health. Your strength comes back. You feel good once again. What happened? The season changed. Looked like it was never work out, but you stepped into a new season. God has seasons of promotion, blessing, and favor in your future you've never seen before. Now you've got to do your part and get in agreement with God. Anybody can quit. Anybody can get discouraged because it's taken a long time. But it takes a man or woman of great faith to say, it looks like my dreams have died, nothing is going my way, but I am not moved by what I see. I'm moved by what I know. I know I would not have breath to breathe if God didn't have another victory in my future. You can't allow the setbacks of life cause you to get numb and become indifferent. The right spirit says, this may be difficult, but I know I've been armed with strength for every battle. Life may have treated me unfair, but I know God will pay me back for every injustice.
You want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. I told everybody at 10 years old I was going to be on TV. I had a little problem when I said that. I had a severe stuttering problem. I could not talk outside of my house. So when I wrote on that paper, the assignment was write on a piece of paper what you want to be when you grow up. I'm 10. I wrote I want to be on TV. That was that faith, the belief in things that you cannot see. I ain't see no way I could be on TV, but I wrote it down. I didn't know no better. I'm 10, I wrote it down. Teacher called me to the front of the class. She called me to the front. I'm thinking, I'm going up here to get a gold star. I ain't never had one before. I can't tell you how wrong I was. That lady didn't call me up there to give me no gold star. She called me up there to humiliate me. And she just said, why would you write something like this on your paper? And I'm standing there. I'm trying to get it out. She said, who in the school ever been on TV? Who in your family ever been on TV? She said, look at you standing there. You can't even talk. How they gonna put somebody like you on TV? So every Christmas, I send her a flat screen TV. Because I don't want her to miss me. I want her to see what God had done for me.
Because life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
They're gonna miss it. They're gonna miss the greatest part of you, the greatest part of your destiny, the greatest part of your creativity. It took everything you went through yesterday to get you ready for what you are about to do today. You are standing on the verge of a great awakening, or you wouldn't be here.
There's nothing you can do about the past, but you can do a great deal about your future. You can make changes in your life in a fairly short period of time. You can make changes you can't even conceive of now. If you give yourself a chance, the first thing you'll know, you'll be able to do things you never thought you could do. You'll be able to handle things you never thought you could handle. You'll have ideas that you've never had before. When you know what you want, and you want it badly enough, the answers will come to you. I can't tell you why it works. All I know is, it works. Ask. Of all the important skills to learn in life, be sure to include the skill of asking. What do you want? And the complete formula is staggering. It says ask, and you will receive. But you've got to do better than work hard and be sincere all of your life. You'll wind up broke and embarrassed. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good asker. Let me give you some key points on this asking and receiving. Here's part of the philosophy that helped me to change. Asking starts the receiving process. Asking is like pushing a button, and all this machinery starts working, mental and emotional machinery. I don't even know how it works, but I do know it works. So asking is the beginning of receiving. Receiving is like the ocean. There's plenty. Here, success is not in short supply. It isn't rationed, so that when you step up to the window, it's all gone. No, no. Well, if that's true, what is the problem? Well, the problem is some people go to the ocean with a teaspoon. Have you got the picture? What I suggest you do in view of the size of the ocean is trade your teaspoon for at least a bucket, and you will look better at the ocean with a bucket. Receiving is not the problem. You don't have to work on receiving. It's automatic. Now, here's something else to remember about asking. One is ask with intelligence. It didn't say ask intelligently, but I'm sure it meant that. Be clear, be specific. Intelligent asking means how high, how long, how much. Describe what you want. Define it. Remember, well-defined goals are like magnets. The better you define them, the stronger they pull.
Now, if you were going to ask intelligently, there might be 5 elements to that. Number one, you'd have to ask specifically, wouldn't you? Very often, you're getting what you're asking for. You're just not aware of how general you're asking. Clarity is power. The more clear you are about exactly what it is you want, the more your brain knows how to get there. Your brain is a servo mechanism. Your brain, when you condition it, knows exactly what to go for and will find a way to get there. Your brain spends most of its time trying to make sure you don't notice, because you'll go crazy if you notice everything. But when you decide what's most important to you, your brain goes after it. If you don't know exactly what you want, or you let yourself get beyond that into something general, you're not going to achieve it. Clarity is power. You got to know the specific result you're after. What do you want? If you can't answer that question right now in your personal life, in your body, in your relationships, in your finances, in your spirituality, then you're not going to be as fulfilled as you want to be.
Give your goals purpose. Answer both questions. What do I want? That's the object. What for? That's purpose. What you want is powerful and it will pull. But what you want it for is more powerful. Ask with faith. It means believe you can get what you want like a child, not an adult. Many adults are too skeptical. They've lost that wonderful childlike faith and trust. Don't let that happen to you. Believe in, have faith in yourself and your goals. Develop that kind of enthusiasm toward your life and your goals. And be curious like a child. Kids can ask 1,000 questions. Just when you think they're finished, they come up with 1,000 more. Have plenty of curiosity. Ask questions. That's how you learn. Another fringe benefit of setting goals is what it does for your ability to manage your time effectively. While we're talking about goals, I'd like to share a few ways your use of time are affected by or influence the achievement of your goals. Time essentials come from objectives well defined. Time can't be critical if objectives aren't defined. Write your goals down and set careful priorities. Sometimes priorities are determined by the season. For a farmer in springtime, the season dictates his most important activities. One of the difficulties of living in an industrialized society is the losing of the sense of seasons. It's easy to keep going from 9 to 5, year in and year out, and lose a natural sense of priorities and appropriate time. Keep an eye on your own seasons, lest you lose track of values and substance.
I just wanted to remind you to dream and dream big, and understand that your family and friends and loved ones, in most cases, boyfriends, girlfriends, they will be the first to try and talk you out of your dreams, your visions and ideas. They'll laugh at you. They'll call you names because they have no dreams. They have no hunger for success. They don't have an appetite. They don't want it.
Don't spend minor time on major things. It's easy to get values mixed up. The man spends 3 hours watching television and only 30 minutes playing with his kids. Something is probably out of line there, right? Don't spend major money on minor things. Here is a great goal-achieving tip. Don't mistake movement for achievement. It's possible to be busy all day, come home exhausted, and only then realize that very little of your day consisted of productive activities. Don't get faked out by being busy. It isn't going hard all day that counts. It's the doing what, the value that counts. Another essential is concentration. The best use of time comes from putting plenty of value in it, and concentration means you take that challenge seriously. It's called careful investment for maximum results. Making a call, having a conversation, trying to solve a problem, concentrate. You won't believe the effect this will have on your life. Now, there is a time to let your mind wander. At that appointed time, you can go off for that walk on the beach, away from business. Let the breezes blow and your mind soar. Do some dreaming. That's healthy. But do it at that pre-planned time. At all other tasks, concentrate. Careful goal setting could be the time management answer you've been looking for. Goals well defined and well described and well thought out make us look carefully at the time we have to make all of our dreams come true. The answers to do better come from the necessity to do better. Now there is a last main point to consider. You won't get everything you want. What a statement to make after studying how to get whatever you want. But you won't get everything you want, and the reason is, it's not that kind of planet. Sometimes it's going to hail on your crop and rain on your parade. I'm sure you are very well aware of this. But in my opinion, if you work the system I've just shared with you, you will get more than plenty.